Who was the first person to travel in space?
That's easy. It was a Russian cosmonaut, but I can't for the life of me tell you his name. 1957, right?
Yes, Yuri Gagarin.
Who wrote the Federalist Papers?
Thomas Jefferson.
No, sir. It was Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison.
That's very impressive that you would know that. It's your chance to ask me a question. Let's stump me here.
Who was the second president?
That's a hard one. Let me think. John Quincy Adams.
No, sir, it's just John Adams.
Tim Collins with Cullman today. I'm down with Carrie Morrow. She's a teacher, big-time teacher at Hanceville Middle School. You're in charge of the Scholar Bowl for your students, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what a Scholar Bowl is exactly.
Okay. A Scholars Bowl team is an academic team here at the middle school. These students actually have to try out for my team. They take a test that I create that's basically like a match in a Scholars Bowl game. And so they have to know a variety of things in order to be able to score high enough on the test to make the team.
Since you guys have asked me questions, I'm going to ask 7 different questions. I'm going to ask a question of the teacher, Miss Morrow. First question, whoever wants to can answer it. There's a book entitled Johnny Tremaine. Can you tell me what part of the world that book's environmental setting was for the book?
Italy?
No.
Oh, man.
Johnny Tremaine, very famous book, usually read by middle schoolers all around the country and the world.
We haven't read it yet.
We haven't read it.
All right, that's New England. Check it out, Johnny Tremaine. Next question. What professional golfer won the 1999 U.S. Open, but tragically died in a plane crash soon thereafter?
I've heard of this. Hate myself.
Hank needs a beat here.
What is it?
Hank is literally at golf practice right now.
I know he is. That's why I picked this question. Okay.
I usually take about 8 students, that's 6th through 8th graders.
And each one of them are very smart, high IQ kids, but each has a little bit of their own specialty, don't they?
Correct. I have some that this year that are very good with politics, presidents, history. I have another student that's really good, or a couple actually, that are really good with science questions. I have one that's really good with math. I have one that's good at geography. Some that are really well with literature. So they have to know a little bit of everything, but some of them have a specialty.
Ethan Burgess, he's a specialist in science. Do you study science constantly? How do you know all this?
I get it from most of the teachers, the science teachers and things like that.
I follow you. Now, there's lots to science. Do you have a particular subspecialty, biology, anthropology, what?
No, I have a wide variety of most things.
That's pretty awesome. Now, I'm going to let you have the same chance. Ask me a question, see if you can stump me.
What is the powerhouse of the cell?
The mitochondria.
Yes.
Noah Frasier, the math specialist, somewhere close to Einstein as far as mathematical skills. He's shaking his no. He's also super humble.
At least I'm humble. No, I mean, I specialize in math, but I also have a lot of other techniques like geography, sports, history. I'm just a little bit of everything, but math is my specialty.
So you're really an all-purpose intellect, but you like math probably best.
Math is my favorite.
I follow you. Now, middle school math, do you study to go beyond middle school level for these competitions?
Yes, I really do. I'm in math team. I've been in math team since I started school here in 6th grade.
I follow you. So what level of math would you say you're fluent in right now? Are you up in calculus yet, or are you working there? Or?
No, I'm not in calculus. I would say probably geometry is one of my best areas.
I got you. Well, everybody else has been asking me a question. I've done poorly in some, well in others. Hit me with your best question.
All right, this isn't going to be math related, so you don't have to worry
he's
about
throwing
that.
me off. This is my one specialty. Okay.
I love hockey. I watch it ever since I was a little kid. So, do you know who won the 2014 Stanley Cup?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
No, sir. That was last year. If I'm correct.
2014.
2014.
No, I do not.
Well, if I'm correct, it should be the Los Angeles Kings.
Now, this year, you've been strong year after year up to this point, but this year you're going to the state tournament. Tell us how you got from the beginning of the year to this moment.
Okay. Well, first of all, we had to join ASCA, which is the Alabama Competitive Scholastic Association. And once we were members of that, we participated at a district tournament that took place a couple of weekends ago. And in that tournament, we actually were runner-up in our pool, so that gave us the ability to go to state. But also, we played in the county tournament that was held in December at Wallace, and we won the Cullman County tournament.
So this group's big time, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
History.
Science.
Music. Yeah, there's science.
History it is.
No.
Going back in history, but not far. It's going to be really pretty easy. Can you name the president who served from 1968
Don't cheat.
until he was replaced by Gerald R. Ford?
Nixon.
What's the first name? Richard Nixon, great.
Because that's all you study about.
So that was history. Good job. Mr. Absher, and he likes to be referred to as Mr. Absher. What's your specialty? What's your involvement here?
Geography and sports.
Wow, those seem both very cool. We happen to have you right in front of the geography side. Hit me with a question on your choice.
Geography, what is the capital of Turkey?
Used to be Istanbul, so I'm going to go with that.
No, Ankara.
All right, I'm here with Taz Whaley. He's the closer. He's also a co-captain. Taz, what are your specialties, man?
I'm good with literature, math, basically everything. I do a little bit of
You're well-rounded. What's your favorite out of that group?
literature.
Now, when you're in competition, you're one of the co-captains. What kind of decisions do you have to make to keep things going the right direction for a victory?
I basically just, in bonus rounds, I have to make sure that he hears the right answer, the captain, Hank, hears the right answer, and I make sure that we all try and kind of stay in the right area.
That makes sense. It sounds like an important role. So everyone else has asked me a question. I think I'm somewhere just slightly above 50%. Give me your best question.
Who wrote The Red Badge of Courage?
I have no idea.
Stephen Crane.
Really? Tell us about that book a little bit.
I've never read it, but she makes us memorize a lot of things.
Yes.
Now tell us about, I think, the Scholar Bowl for the States in Hoover, correct? It's coming up soon.
Correct. February the 25th, we'll play at Hoover High School, and there are several schools from around the state that will be competing that day.
And you guys practice just like this as a sports team or a band or something of that nature, don't you?
Definitely. They will probably tell you that I'm very competitive and that I'm very tough on them, but it's because I know that they can do it.
Now, when you're in the middle of a Scholar Bowl competition, do you get on the sidelines and pace and scream and like bite your nails? I mean, what do you do as the leader of the bunch here?
I kind of just listen to the questions, and I know the ones that they should know, and I just hope that they buzz in and get the correct answer. Sometimes if they don't, I show some disappointment on my face. But I really can't say anything during it. You want to keep everything kind of quiet. But after the game's over, I give them some tips before we play the next match.
Now, do you have a challenge flag? If you don't like the way something's going, you can throw it in the middle and stop things?
I can't, but my captain can. He's the only person that can do that in the match.
Great. All right, I'm with William. He's the all-purpose specialist, knows a lot about a lot. Tell us your role in all this Scholar Bowl activity.
Just sitting around.
You just sit around and absorb information? Is that how it works?
Yes, sir.
Who was the 2015 MVP?
Of football?
Yes.
What? Professional football?
Yes, sir.
Cam Newton.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got one right. Hit me with a final bonus question. I'm going to fail at miserably. Let's have it.
What Frenchman who fought in the Revolutionary War first got into America by disguising themselves as a pregnant woman?
Jean Rousseau Leblanc.
Makita Lafayette.
Missed that. What is the general landmass in Mongolia called?
Tibetan Plain.
What's that?
Tibetan Plain.
It's close. There's another word. I'm going to give you a chance. Another word for plain.
Plateau.
The Mongolian steppes. Steppes.
You've got to put the cookies down, you got to get to the chopper, you've got to do all the things you can learn in the world. You've got to go to UAB.
Let's pretend like I'm Donald Trump. What would you like to say to me?
I run The Apprentice now.
Up front. Carrie Morrow, this is not really an academic question, but I need a prediction. Your students, upcoming State Scholars Bowl, assuming they're in the category of school size that matches yours, what's your prediction? Are we going to go number one?
Sure. Absolutely.
Be confident.
All right, another question, a bonus question to try to stump me. What is it?
Do you know who wrote the Divergent series?
I have no idea. I don't even know what the Divergent series is.
Veronica Roth.
And tell me about the Divergent series.
It's about a 16-year-old girl in a faction system that nobody, well, not nobody, but there is abnegation, amity, candor, erudite, and dauntless. She is originally in abnegation, and then she goes to dauntless to find herself, where she meets her instructor, Four, who comes from a background of abuse and torture when his mother dies when he's 6 years old. And in the last book, it's a book about him and his version, and he finds out his mother's alive in the factionless faction, technically, and she left him because she wanted to get a better life for herself.
And you've read this book?
I've read all of them.
You've read the whole series?
Yes.
And how old are you?
13.
You're a heavyweight of literature then. That's impressive. Good job.